We have the one, the only, Wayne Simmonds. Wayne, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I covered you as a player, and now you're back here as a team front office ambassador type.
Sounds weird.
What is it like to be part of this event? Not as a player, but obviously everyone still remembers you, as the player.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but like I was saying to you before we went on air, it's always nice to interact with our fans. We got the greatest fans in the game. I've always believed that. So for me to come back, it's a little bit different. Obviously not, taking pictures and like sitting in the booth for 3 hours like the players do
Yeah.
and doing stuff like this. But nonetheless, still pretty cool.
How excited were you to get the call to come back to be part of the Flyers work?
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
I spent eight great years in Philadelphia, and I always felt I was a Flyer at heart. So it sucked when I got traded. I never really wanted to leave, but obviously hockey's a business, right? And at the end of the day, business takes precedent. So it was unfortunate, but getting the call from Danny and Jonesy and them asking me if I want to return and retire as a Flyer, I think that was a no-brainer.
Was that process? Did you getting reintegrated into the organization, was that like a jumping off from the retirement ceremony, or?
Yeah, I guess we had conversations beforehand with my agent, because I hadn't officially retired yet, right? I just wasn't playing. So, there's a lot of different stuff going on. I didn't know if I was going to play again, and then I just kind of made the decision that it was done. At that time, I had 2 young kids. My wife was pregnant, 7 months pregnant, and for me, going on a tryout or going to Europe just didn't make sense. So for me, it was, they called and like, you're going to retire? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, would you like to sign a 1-day contract? And I'm like, yeah, no brainer. I'm like, just give me a date.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
No, and it was a really emotional day. I can tell for you,
Yeah.
I covered it, but also for the fans, because you were a player that, I can speak from experience, just speaking with fans, you were beloved here. There was a real connection between the fans and you. Do you still feel that, when you speak with Flyers fans, when you meet them in person?
Yeah, I don't it's all love. Every time I come into the city, from the airport, literally from the time I touch down to the airport till I get to my hotel or wherever I'm going or staying, it's, I can just feel the love. It's different when I come back into the city as opposed to, even I'm from Toronto and, being in Toronto or going to Nashville or LA. It's just a different feeling. I can tell that the people love me here. I played as hard as I possibly could every single night when I put that jersey on, and they really appreciate it, and I can really feel it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you because it's true. Like when you talk to fans, particularly fans our age, where kind of like 2010 on was kind of like the prime of our fandom. Like people love you.
Yeah.
And so I'm really glad to know that you feel that from us, because like you said, we definitely knew when you stepped onto the ice in that Flyers jersey, it was going to be 150% every single night. We appreciated it, so I'm glad to know that you are really feeling that from fans in Philly. It's great to know.
It was an honor for me to put that jersey on. I think me as a person, the way I was raised, my parents, if you're going to do something, do it the right way. And, I just felt like the way I played in the city is just so blue collar, and it just meshed so well. And obviously, I was a huge Mr. Snyder fan. He was so good to me, and doing stuff with the Snyder Foundation and his organization, it just meant a lot to me. And like I said, it only just made sense for me to retire as a Flyer.
And obviously now you're a formal member, back with the organization. Yep. Can you speak to what your role is now and what you're doing?
So I guess I'm a community ambassador and a hockey ops consultant. So when I'm back home in Toronto, just doing a little bit of scouting for the team, and I think this is my 3rd or 4th trip down here. Interact with the fans, doing meet and greets and stuff like that, and just kind of being present and just kind of showing my face and being an ambassador for the Flyers.
What's it like? Obviously now the general manager of the Flyers is Danny Briere, one of your former teammates.
Weird.
What is it like, that he's making the decisions about the team and you're, in a sense, answering to him as general manager?
It's extremely cool. I think when you get an opportunity to work for someone who you've played with and I remember my first day in Philadelphia. Danny came to me, and I was obviously a little younger. I was 24 years old, and Danny was kind of a little bit older, and the first thing he said to me was like, "No messing around here." He's like, "We're trying to win," and it's like, I can dig that. I can dig it. I get it, right? So, I think Danny's doing a great job. Like he's a Flyer as well through and through, and it was an honor for them to even offer me a position with the team. So,
did you, when you played with him, when you got to know him, did you think that he could eventually be a front office guy in hockey? Did he have that vibe?
Oh yeah, extremely smart. Knew what he was doing and talking about, and I had the honor of playing with Danny while he was here on his line, right? So he kind of like coached our line, right? And you can just tell like the IQ, the hockey IQ just oozed out of him, right? So I kind of just sat there and didn't really say much to him, to be honest with you, and I just listened. And that's when you're around people like that, you just listen and you learn a lot. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more than you talk, and that's kind of the way I was.
Would you say that Danny still has that no messing around, we're trying to win here attitude?
Oh my God. I was with him.
Know.
I was with him last week at a game, watching the few kids, and it was the same. I got the same vibe, exact same vibe.
I guess with regards to this event, I imagine you envision being part of these events, moving forward for a long time to come.
Yeah, of course. Philadelphia's second home for me. I got the opportunity today to bring my children to show them what it was all about, and my wife, right? So I remember this was one of my visits planned, and the first thing I said to my wife was, we got to bring the kids, right? We participated, the two of us, we were here for so long, we did so much, with this event, and I really wanted my children to get a chance to see what it was all about, and hopefully they want to come back next year and the year after and the year after, and we'll be here.
Well, Wayne, it's great to have you back in the Flyers fold, and it's great to have you on the show. So thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.